has shaken our community, has continued to shake our community, and we continue to mourn for the victims.
On the evening of November 12th, Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Morgan were at a local bar and were later at a food truck in downtown Moscow. They arrived home at approximately 1:45 a.m. on the morning of November 13th. And Xana Kernodle were at the Sigma Chi house before also arriving home at approximately 1:45 a.m. Two surviving roommates were also out in the community, and they returned home at approximately 1 a.m. and did not wake up until later that morning.
How long have you been doing this for?
I've been doing it for 16 years, and I just got reelected for another 4.
So what is it that, or I guess, when did you get the call on Sunday?
I got the call just a few minutes after noon that there were 4 homicides, but I didn't go to the scene because of law enforcement doing their investigation first, so I didn't actually go to the scene until about 5 or 5:30.
Can you walk us through, like, for our viewers, kind of the process between when police show up and then you guys getting the bodies and doing your examinations?
Sure. Well, law enforcement goes through and looks for any evidence, takes videos and pictures of everything in there, and they'll start talking with people. So I don't really need to be there for that. They can't move the bodies. I mean, the bodies have to stay as they were until the coroner gets there. So that's what my job is, to look at the bodies.
As a coroner, do you guys do the autopsies and all that?
No, we some do if they're an actual medical examiner, but we have forensic pathologists and we contract with Spokane to do that.
So in your experience, what is it that you saw when you showed up?
Well, there was a lot of blood. It was a very sad scene with 4 murdered college students.
You're ruling all 4 deaths homicides?
Yes.
Okay. And can you give us a manner of death?
I believe that the press release was that they were from a sharp object. So
stabbings.
Yeah, I will know more after the autopsies tomorrow.
And do you believe this could be like a murder-suicide or?
No, there are 4 homicides.
4 homicides. Okay. And when it comes to doing the investigation post-autopsy, that falls on you, correct?
Yes, it's my job to determine the manner and mechanism of death.
And then I know with toxicology results, there can often be, at least in Washington, a delay. So do you have any idea how long it could take, if those were relevant, to get any type of results back on that?
Well, the toxicology reports, right, they usually take 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes longer. But they might, I don't think they're going to be relevant.
Results back on that?
Well, the toxicology reports, right, they usually take 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes longer. But they might, I don't think they're going to be relevant in the actual manner or cause of death.
Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is for entertainment purpose only. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders. May the victims rest in peace. Condolence to their families. Why would the coroner say that the toxicological reports are not relevant? Why would it be not important? A toxicological report should be done no matter what. The girls were out drinking that night. A roofie could have been put up in the drink, inside the drink. They could have been drugged. They could have been poisoned. And this is not someone unaliving themselves. This is homicides. That doesn't make sense at all.
Cause of death.
And do we know how long between the time of death and when police found them, approximately?
No, I don't know for sure.
Do we have like any, like, could it have been hours? Could it have been a day? Was it maybe close? Like, is there any sort of like time frame there?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, gotcha.
And you said the scene was really difficult. I mean, is this something you've had to deal with before in Moscow?
Since I've been coroner, there have been at least 2 other multiple homicide scenes that I've been involved in. So
It's probably the most gruesome.
it's hard to just single it out. It's the only one I've been to where there have been 4 people at one scene. There have been the other ones have had multiple scenes.
And was anybody else injured, like any non-deceased people?
Not that I'm aware of, but I wouldn't necessarily be notified either.
Okay. I didn't know if that was like, because the injuries could be similar, it might matter to you.
No,
But
right.
no. Okay.
Were the deceased all in close proximity to each other, or were they in different rooms?
I don't know that I can discuss that.
The coroner, Kathy, was willing to discuss everything else, but she couldn't discuss where the victims were found. And she mentioned that they were found in one approximately. Were they all found in one place, I wonder? Was it changed along the lines? Because how come the coroner wasn't allowed to enter the scene until 5 to 5:30? The FBI did not join this case until the 17th of November.
Be the killer's handprint. The ghostly image appeared when this window was dusted for prints.
There's no doubt that it's an important item of evidence. There has to be a point of entry and a point of exit in a crime like this. If there is a handprint, it may be very significant.
And we're learning that 21-year-old Kaylee Gonsalves may have been the killer's prime target. Published reports say that Kaylee was subjected to a more brutal attack than the other 3 victims. She was killed on the same bed along with her best friend, Madison Mogen. News Nation reporter Brian Enton is in Idaho covering the investigation.
There's a number of different theories possible. Since her wounds were more significant than Maddie's, is it possible she was the target? Yes. Or is it possible that she woke up and was trying to fight back and that Maddie was the target?
As the investigation enters its 4th week, Kaylee's father is expressing disappointment with the local police.
Do you feel confident in the police investigation and the people investigating right now?
I do not feel confident, and that's why I push the envelope and say a little bit more. I hate to be that guy, but there's a job to do for everybody. Has a job and a role to play in this. Includes, this is my role as the parent.
He says he's raising money to hire a private detective. The
2, 3, 4, almost as though they're walking in single file out at night at 3 o'clock in the morning, actually closer to 3:12 in the morning. And as you watch those 4 figures, remember, police say the murders happened between 3 and 4 in the morning. Did those people see something? Who are they? Have police tracked them down, asked them any questions, ruled them out? And again, if they're ruled out, did they see something as they were on foot, walking just steps away from where the murders happened? We do not have the answers to this, any of it. But as usual, our senior national correspondent, Brian Enton, is live on the case. And tonight he is standing in that exact location, right where that body cam action took place. So Brian, for us looking at it on television, it's hard to get the exact perspective of where the officers were standing, what direction their body cams were pointing, and where those 4 mysterious figures were walking from and to, and how far away they were from the actual murder scene. So can you take me there and help us get a feel?
Yeah, it's very confusing when you're looking at the body camera video, so hopefully we can give you some perspective. This is Band Field. This is where the alcohol call came in. The young men were here in the field when the police first showed up. That is the Sigma Chi fraternity house right there. So the police walked those young men across the street. This is Taylor Avenue, right to this spot right here. I was able to identify it because of the fire extinguisher, and they were standing in this spot. The young men, and the body camera video was pointed this way, and it is over my shoulder where you could see very faintly what looked like several people walking fast or almost running by in the background. And I want to walk you over actually and give you a little more perspective. It was somewhere in this area right here, and we can tell because we analyzed these lights of this little apartment building. It was somewhere right in this area. There's another big apartment building here. The question you might be having is, how close is this to the house where the murders happened? Mo is gonna point in that direction. Our producer is up there. She's gonna flash a flashlight, Ashley. You see that flashlight flashing right there? That is right in front of the house where the murders happened. So it's all very, very close.
So what we're effectively seeing is, like, if my eyes don't deceive me, about 200 yards away from where Mo is flashing the light at the murder scene, those four figures were walking where you're standing. It's that close.
It's that close, and it appears, again, it's so hard to see in that body camera video, but when we zoom in, it does appear that the figures are walking / running from the direction of where the house is where the murders happened. At first, I thought they were just walking down Taylor Avenue, but when I got out here and really looked at everything, it appears they might actually be coming somewhat from the direction of the house.
Have the figures been investigated? Whoever it was running, jogging, walking fast, because they clearly came from the direction of 1122 Kings Road, the crime scene. That was at 3:12 at night. And in the beginning, we were told by the chief that the murders took place between 3 to 4 a.m. The Sigma Chi fraternity, its president said they don't have cameras. The figures were running clearly from Kings Road, 1122 Kings Road, and they were running towards the Sigma Chi. That obviously comes into mind of the 4chan, exactly what they predicted. Was this just a fantasy, an evil fantasy, or was it some people or someone was actually going to carry on his fantasy, make it into a reality? They said when the lights go off on the 2nd and 3rd floor, we will go to the house and they were going to unalive 3 people. There are 3 targets: Maddie, Xana, and Ethan. We know that there was a fight that night at the Sigma Chi. Bethany Funky was at the party. Is that the exculpatory evidence that she has? We wouldn't know yet because the case is, almost everything in this case is under gag order. But if this happened between 3 to 4, like we were told in the beginning, then it would make sense with the light, with the car light that is flashing in front of the victim's house. And that is at 3:05 or 3 a.m. while the Banfield footage is going on.